Okay, we have ourselves another casted game of Age of Mythology to watch, and this one is a Norse war, straight from the ladder. On this side, we have I like Belagus. He is Batchy from the DoD clan, and this is Craghack on this side playing as Thor, and I believe he is from the DoD clan as well. Now, little info on Craghack is a long time ago, he was my level, and I played him a few times. And it seems that I've gone down. I've gone down a bit. I was going to say, I think we're about 1600 and something. And now he is around 1900. Extremely strong player, likes his Norse, so he's going to be playing Thor. He's going for the Dwarven Armory build, deciding to whack in these giraffes. And I think he is the go-to guy for Thor builds. I'm pretty sure I've heard that. I think he's in Soup's Discord, and Soup is a very strong Norse player, and he was using Craghack's builds. So I think he is the guy. He's also getting, what is it? So he's got 3 over here on the gold. He's got 3 dwarves. Deciding to get his copper shields first, bringing the giraffes in, and then nothing on wood for the time being. So this will be an interesting build to kind of keep up on. Whereas we have Batchy on this side, playing my favorite god, playing Loki. Loki's even been played in the tournament, which I've been loving. I just think we're just going to try and make Loki work, even if maybe he's not the best god in the game. He's my favorite, so we're going to be enjoying that one. Moving back over here. So it's a bit of a 4 gatherer opening. So this is a completely different Thor build than what we've been seeing previously. Nice little spy on the food villagers. For Batchy, wants to see where these food villagers move off to a little bit later. And maybe we'll do an in-depth guide of Craghack's builds maybe some other time. But we have Pygmalion statue, increases villager hit points, which is massive if there's a raiding situation going on. Got Hestia's Hearth, villagers train time, so you can get more villagers out and they be stronger. And if they die, you get your resources back. So everything villager related, and then your herdman upgrade. Herdmen aren't seen that much. If it's a kind of Odin off, then maybe you might see a couple of herdmen just as defenders, but not massive in these ones. Moose, have you ever heard of the Belaga whale? I have not heard of the Belaga whale. Is that where the Loki gets his name from? Belaga. To be honest, I don't know what this name means. Is it that he likes whales? Is that it? Craghack getting a temple up at about the 3-minute mark. So he's going for a late advance time. Thors often want to. This will be the greedy boys build, as we will let it be known. What I am liking about Craghack's build here is he's got some goats coming over, so he can even get a faster advance time than otherwise. He's moved everything over to the food. Okay, this is it. We're going to do an in-depth build analysis of one of his. Unfortunately, this dwarf getting lost. There was definitely space for the poor little guy, and he manages to get a 4:30 advance time with only 2. Maybe that's the way to get a 4:30. I think when you get the extra one, it is about a 5-minute advance time. So nice play from Craghack there. It's also got a few gatherers out instead, which does mean that his gold mine in the main base will be up for longer. So maybe that's the kind of difference. Is a 4:30 is doable a bit easier if you don't get all these gatherers out. But gatherers off fine. You know, you kind of when you're playing as Thor, you build dwarves because they're just as good as gatherers, and they're pretty easy to build, but then you lose your gold mine pretty early on. And in a Norse war, maybe that's not the idea. So props to Craghack for this build. We're loving it. The Loki, he's going through Heimdall. A bit of spice. We were questioning in the Twitch chat whether or not we would be going or seeing a bit of Forseti action from both, because Forseti's got buffed with the Ulfsarks with the Berserks being buffed, plus the Berserk upgrades a little bit cheaper. And the Thor is definitely going for that one. I think it's a good buff for Thor because all his Dwarven Armory upgrades are cheaper as well. So that upgrade's even cheaper, gets an extra dwarf for free. But something that the Loki will have, and he has pre-queued it as fast as possible, is Rigsthula that's also been buffed. I think I'm a big fan of this last change because there are some decent Norse buffs, and we do like Norse buffs. So Berserk's coming in just to get a, well, just kind of be annoying. One Berserk isn't really going to do much, but it does force some idle time. It forces Batchy here to do something, and if you can force your opponent to do something, just do it. That's always the way. I've always thought about it as if, like, if there's something which you get really frustrated when somebody does to you, just do it to them, and that's always a good way to play. When I first started playing AOM online on Voobly or EE, I think it was Voobly then. Oh no, Game Ranger. Game Ranger was when I first started replaying it just before EE came out. And I would just sit back, and I was a bit of a boomer, and I would just sit back and wait. And then when someone would do something, I'd be when somebody would raid me, I'd be so frustrated. And then I was like, wait, why don't I just do the things that annoy me? And that's always a good way to play. And it looks like there's 6 hearses out for Loki. So the Loki does want to be getting some favor income in. It's always a good idea. One thing that's bugged me about Loki, and I'm a big Loki advocate, is that the Thor hearses are just better. So if we move over here, so the Thor hearses already have their armory upgrades in, and the armory upgrades for Thor or for heroes are worth more than every other unit. They just are. That's just how Age of Mythology works. So that means that Thor hearses are just way better than Loki hearses, which feels weird. Loki hearses can spawn myth units, so that obviously makes them a little bit better. Looks like Craghack's coming in with a bit of a raid on Batchy here. Batchy doesn't have any units around as well. Does pull back very quickly, but the focus fire from Craghack is absolutely on it. The pathing has improved, so you can no longer kind of get away with bumping a villager, and potentially last patch he might not have got three villagers there. So very nice play from Craghack. Can he get out? He does have a couple of berserks on this side, or hearses that are slowing down the party. But as there's no Forsetti on the blue side, these guys should be able to get away, especially after that upgrade came in. Hall of Thanes, they should be able to get out. And the Loki hearses, again, are not as good because he has gone through slow Heimdall. But where these hearses will get their speed is with the nice Einheri. It looks like the Einheri Galahorn upgrade wants to be researched. That does give them extra HP and an extra duration on their boost, if I'm correct. It's like some blue units getting caught out a little bit here. In classic Norse war fashion, there's kind of action all over the map, trying to get in with that Einheri blast. Nice play, but Craghack already saw it coming, and just some jostling around. And those little skirmishes definitely favor the Thor. I mean, yes, it does boost up the Loki spawn rate, so he'll be closer to a myth unit spawn. But the Thor here, he has a healing spring, whereas the Loki didn't actually go that way. So little engagements there where you go half HP on a raiding cavalry. If you can just sit back, get that back up to full HP, it's some big value. Batchy here is getting some houses up in the middle of the map. I know it's something you shouldn't do. You should normally have a builder, a designated builder sat at home. But it's just kind of feels bad to leave some back there sometimes. Let's have a bit of a gold mine situation, because normally a gold mine for Thor would be gone around, let's say, 8 to 9 minutes. It would definitely be gone. So this build with the extra gatherers in it means that this still has 700 gold left in it. So nice play from Craghack, especially as this map, this is Blue Lagoon, isn't it? So the gold mines can spawn pretty forward. You can get a decent one, a back one where you can wall it off, but it's kind of completely out of the way. It's like Craghack wants to go on another raid. There is a half-finished wall up this side which can go down so quick. I think there was a unit doing this one, and then it got moved off and just got forgotten about. I just even need to whack it down, so it doesn't even need to alert Batchy that he's here. And if Batchy isn't paying attention, he's going to lose some big villager numbers there. It does go 1, 2, 3, almost a fourth gatherer. So absolutely huge. On top of being Thor, which just gets more of those guys, the Thor is in a pretty overwhelming position, or not overwhelming, but a good advantage for the Thor. Also, so he's got four additional dwarves so far. But I guess Rigsthula is in, so these villagers are actually being trained a little bit quicker for the Loki. So if all is even, he should be catching up, really. And it looks like Bachi is actually catching this army out. You think the throwing axe could just turn and fight, but nice bit of micro from Bachi. His Hursa micro is normally pretty on it. We've actually made a short about him, about how good his micro is. All the throwing axemen go down. Draugr spawned in. The throwing axemen on this side getting some good damage done. And this is how the Norse wars can just turn so quick. Did get the Draugr spawn, but just those Hursas dodging axes. And actually, with how good the build was, he still has to sit inside his base with a Dwarven Mine. This is when you want to win a fight in a Norse war. Is around 10 minutes-ish is when you're going to be wanting to leave for your next gold mine. It's like, oh, so close to catching some of those units. And unfortunately, none of them go down for Bachi. He's going to catch out a couple of Hursas, though. Hursa's trying to go after the giant killer Einheri. And looks like they didn't want to finish him off. Thought they could. And now they're running back off. We just have so many more blue units here, but Kraghack does have the trolls, and I think trolls in a Norse war are so strong. Needs to wait for that upgrade before throwing a boulder, really, because it just does extra damage. We'll see what they can do. Didn't decide to manually cast those. I don't know. It's something that I like to do, but I know it isn't for everyone. The blue units are all so low, but there's just so many of them. And another Einheri spawn in the middle of that one. It's just something that makes Loki unique is these myth unit spawns. And we're actually having a chat about this in one of the Discords. I think it was the DoD Discord. I can't remember which one. But people were talking about how Loki could be buffed in some way. And what I said, and I might have to put it as something on the AOM forums, but similar to how the similar to how the Japanese have their Bushido, or Shenong has his circle of when he's going to get another myth unit. He has that kind of circle here. I think Loki should definitely have that for when he's going to spawn a new myth unit. And I think that would make his play so much better, because similar to when you're someone like Amaterasu and you know that you're going to get heavy dudes the next fight, you just want to fight because your opponent's going to get caught off guard. What if you were three quarters of the way to another myth unit and you're like, yeah, this is the time to take a fight because you know that you're going to get a myth unit? Maybe you could even hover over it, similar to Shenong, and it says, oh, next fight you're going to spawn a giant killer Einheri. Well, you're like, well, I'm going to take this fight for sure. And I think that needs to be in. They have the tech. So I need to ask, though. I need to ask the question to see if they can do it, because I would love that. As a Loki enjoyer, I would love it. Looks like Kraghack has come out onto this gold mine. He feels like he's got enough. I mean, he doesn't really have a choice. He has to come out now, but he feels like he's got enough of a defensive presence, and I think he does with those 5 cave trolls. What can Loki do on this side, though? He does have... How many Einheris are there? There are 7. There are 7 Einheris. So what he kind of needs to do is leave a few on autocast and then a few on manual, or have a few in his starting army and then a few kind of towards the back, because you kind of want to not overlap 7, because then you lose out on all of that value. You can overlap a couple, but not all 7. Also getting caught out by those raiders around the back. No medium raiders, though. There's so many raiders. It's weird to not have them. And they all use their ability at once. All or nothing, says Bachi. And yeah. It's so funny because there are different players here that come from different games, and I do manual casts on so much and get a lot of value from it, and then just completely mess up my eco because my macro management is terrible. And I think you can get so much further by having good macro and just ignoring things like this. But anyway, it is what it is. That's what makes the game fun. There's different ways to be good at it. And I think Loki is going to go up to the next stage through Bragi. That's what I'm expecting. Could go Njord. Could do a Njord push on these palm trees, but I'm expecting with these Einheri specials plus a flaming weapons could be nice. It's like the Einheri specials are a bit bugged there. They are going to be coming through. And actually, instead, because he's taking the fight, looks like he's just going pure unit spam. The trolls in the back line, how many cave trolls are we at? With 6 cave trolls. They're not being touched by any heroes. But the overwhelming throwing axeman numbers, plus the Einheris that just aren't being touched. They're all using their things. Look how fast he is. 8.2, and we caught him halfway through as well. So probably up to 9 something speed. And Craghack just loses so many of his units. He is going to have to go back through. This is the thing about Heimdall, is if you can get these numbers up, the Einheris are ridiculously strong. And maybe Heroic Age now, potentially. Longhouse coming up. So we've got 5 Longhouses, 4 of those Great Halls on this side. I'm assuming there won't be as much because Craghack has been on the back foot here. And yeah, he is. He's got kind of in a bit of a shambles. Got 49 on wood. He does have a gold mine all the way down here. Is what we're saying about this map. It's very, very tough. There's also an elephant down here. It's walled up the map pretty well. Oh, I didn't manage to finish off those walls. I think it's when he was getting fought earlier. So normally the Thor in a good economic position, but kind of struggling as he's been contained inside his base. Nice little attempt to a raid from Craghack, but gets caught out. And yeah, Njord. Njord's going to be the choice. I think flaming weapons isn't so good if you're expecting a frost to come in at some point, and just insult to injury, kind of drag a spawn there. You love to hear it. Nice to see these boys getting used. I mean, even though the Loki is at an overwhelming number, these trolls, if you overstep and you're not expecting the troll special, these troll specials could take out all of these throwing axemen so quick. You still need to be on it if you are the Loki here. You can't be overstepping. You can't be kind of, I don't know, have a lapse in concentration. It's going to be very, very tough. The Raiders still trying to get in. I believe that was probably a conversion of a couple of berserks there. Unless they were just building the wall, but it's always a decent idea in those kind of situations just to convert a couple of berserks. Nothing to worry about. Actually, Craghack even moved on to the farms. He does know about this. I wonder why he just didn't decide to go for it. He could go down with loads and loads of dwarfs and just hope. I mean, it is just whatever you choose is tough in this kind of position. Now, what's Batchy going for? It's going for a TC, so he gets up to that 190 pop instead. What's getting Ring Giver for your Jarls, but a Jarl HP. Jarl damage versus the Myth units too. I assume it'll be heavy and go. What was it? Heavy infantry, heavy cav. Even a dock for some good measure. Just in case he wants his Kraken in. I guess you can transport ship if the walls were done. Oh, even getting a longboat. That's interesting. We don't really see that very often. Unless if this is like a highly contested spot. Maybe if there was a gold mine here, a longboat would make some sense. I'm a little bit confused by the tower. But Craghack is on this side. He's on this side. He's got some on this side too. And this is what I mean about the troll special. Only one getting caught out. Cave trolls. I'm a big fan of the mass trolls. I definitely go for it when I'm in a defensive situation. And Craghack is doing the right thing. He's kind of distracting. He's buying his time so he can sit on these gold mines and actually get back into this because he is ahead in the villager numbers. He did those raids earlier. He got those Thor upgrades, so he's in a good spot. Looks like the watchtower's going to go down. And he's in a good spot from the eco numbers. It's just the issue is that he's had to sell loads of resources. He's had to build farms. He hasn't been able to sit on a gold mine for a long, long time. He's actually going to get pushed off this one. And Batchy, he's He's dotting his I's and crossing his T's. That's for sure. Getting a bit of favoring to take out that Kraken, I guess. Now over here is where the majority of this Loki army is. Undermine hasn't been used. Walking Woods can be used at any point. Now we'll take out that tower and probably a decent amount of HP on some of these units. Some of these buildings, sorry. Einheri's, all the horns blow. There's going to be some fast trees. 4.8 speed trees. What can the throwing axemen do? The trolls. Oh, the trolls are on their way. I think they're going to be a little bit late. But, oh, unfortunate. Does use it on that one. I think the town center is going to go down for the Loki. From the Loki. For the Thor. And just a nice contained kind of strat. And then, yeah, when these Einheris get on, they could do some good damage. I mean, it was in kind of Norse War, classic Norse War fashion. It was all down to this fight here, just juking some of those throwing axemen just for about 3 shots. And that allowed so much damage to be done. And a bit of Einheris coming in. Always nice to see.